We take pride in satisfying every customer's financial needs.
Nga rod na lawa to kumata bak asira linga da foko wonyo pound dinkira
hey elafta maboro la bank kalpo efa igiso eseo na yuna jang iba dinkira to kati yuna wallet ibe falindiro ke kan sandiri nyat
ni la yuna wallet to si muna fanno tulo yabo mano kandrin en fen jama isi sanno la yona wallet to kono yalla kamo soto ila wallet to kono
alkana la konda no tay ka fi yuna wallet anatan tolle mukan na balwo fanondi abe sona yaren ko bulu podo ne la mobile scan yo science ise ma boro ke wato men diate
ko be sandro ke fangole ba ko ba ke kan dimbalem isi ngi lonko e sandro yona enterprise wato wati ani la yona wallet to la ibe lan kamo soto kay la wallet to kono
alina nga kafun nanyi yuna dimbayal kan kasandiro ke yuna bitikoto alina kata nyin ko kentat na sura fa lolu di sandiro kije se ma boro fanan keje
moro jun diana nyum ko di mabal nin kadeda
This is
It's an honor again to have the mayor of Kanifing, Mayor Bensouda. Welcome to my show again.
Thank you.
For nekon, danga lahude.
Lahomadi.
For nekon all this while.
Well, on Saturday I was at Charles Jau 2025 graduation ceremony. Then I've been in Vienna.
Yeah.
Also, I won Paris for French Development Agency. Then you may invite on for there's a presentation on tax optimization.
Yeah.
Because we have a project at KMC right now.
Yeah.
Funded by Funds for Innovation Development, which is French Development Agency. So that was a high-level seminar with the Minister of Economic Affairs of Ivory Coast and Minister of Foreign Affairs of France.
Yeah.
Then I went to Vienna for the Mayor's Forum. First time Kanifing is represented.
Yeah.
It's the
and
highest
you brought
level.
a lot of money too, right?
Well, that was before I left.
Oh, that was before you left.
That was before I left.
Okay.
So Vienna is the Mayor's Forum, is the biggest and probably the most prestigious gathering of mayors around the world. So for the first time, Kanifing, I think, or any Gambian city, they participate. So it's organized by Singapore government, but for the first time, they were organizing it in Vienna, because Vienna was selected as the winner of the Lee Kyong-woo award. So Lee Kyong-woo was the prime minister, the famous prime minister of Singapore, who transformed Singapore from a poor country to an advanced rich country. So they developed an award around him because Singapore city-state.
Yeah.
So Vienna hosted it. So it was a very, very high-level event. You know, mayors from London, Kuala Lumpur, Algiers, Bilbao, everybody was there.
Wow.
So before that, I was launching projects. Serakunda Market, we launched a project there to help women because they suffer in poor sanitary conditions. You know, jai jin.
Wow.
So during my re-election, I'm for them on, and they complained. And I promised if that I was re-elected, I would build it. And we started the project now.
Okay.
Before then, I've been busy in Gambia.
And politicking too.
I've been politicking. I've been
too.
politicking. Wow.
Well,
I'm Smadinkulio in Farafenye, in Kuntaur. Yeah, we've been busy, but we are busy working.
You're busy working.
Wow.
Now let's look at, before you, there was this project that you guys got. I think it's one of the biggest that the municipality is attracting, right?
Right. So we were shortlisted for 2 big grants. One I can say, one I can't.
Oh.
So the one I can... because the rules are you have to be selected before you can.
Okay.
But we've been shortlisted out of a lot of cities. Bobo is $500,000.
Okay.
But the project is basically helping youth businesses. So seed capital, incubator, support youth businesses in KMC. So more startups.
Yeah.
So the other one is $1 million grant by Bloomberg Philanthropies.
Yeah.
Bobo, we were shortlisted out of 600 cities. 50 cities were shortlisted, and Kanifing was one of them.
Okay.
So we are each given $50,000 to do a proof of concept. And if we succeed, we'll get the $1 million. So 25 out of the 50. So 50% chance. We feel very, confident about it. So yeah.
Oh, great. Now let's look at KMC, the road project.
Yeah.
I think you campaign on that.
Yeah.
And lolu mu nekon lo xamne ñu bari am ci yaakaar bu mag. But it looks like yange am a bottleneck with the NRA.
Absolutely.
You have said this, and they have said another thing, and even the minister chipped in and said another thing as well. Dafa melni kon yoon bobu wa KMC duñ ci benefit xana.
Well, we have to, so we've paid $34 million.
What is the problem, actually?
The problem is NRA. So basically, ñun bala ñu start project B, of course, we consulted NRA. We set up a committee to evaluate and to design and to prepare the roads. Because we've known government to wait until we start projects to block us, we involved NRA from the very start. So when you set up a committee, we brought in all stakeholders, Ministry of Works, even the local government select committee of parliament. We brought Ministry of Local Government, NRA, ñoom seen boppa. And ñun amuñ capacity to design roads. We don't have the internal technical capacity. So of course, NRA ñoo design roads yep. We identified and they designed it. Even in the initial map of the roads we were supposed to build, you will see KMC's logo and NRA. So they also selected the contractor. They recommended that contractor, which is the Longyear Road and Bridge Company. It's a Chinese-based company owned by a province of Longyear. And they built the Basse Bridge and some of the URR roads. So they recommended them. So they were with us throughout the process, design stage, contract development, procurement stage, even the ceremony to lay the foundation stone. So basically I think ceremony is when this road project came on the map of the politicians, which is the MPP-led government. So before it was just technicians working. And then once you launch, there's fanfare, there's news, there's media. So at that point, experienced politicians know what could potentially come. And our worst fears came. NRA, of course, was visited by the Minister Ibrahim Asila. It's a small country, we know what goes down. And then he basically threatened them not to go forward with KMC. And ñun amuñ capacity, technical capacity. So we are relying on NRA as the consultant. And we have assigned MOU with them.
Yeah, I saw that you published that also,
So, sometimes I feel sorry for these civil servants because they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, doing the right thing or potentially losing your job. So when a minister threatens and a minister puts his weight, so dimbale ñi dam la daha, or I will make sure those succeed. You find technical ways to block the project or get out of it. So they basically wrote to us and said they're busy with OIC roads. So ñom mënuñ ñoo dimbale anymore. NRA. But we said, look, we have a MOU. What's going on? And they said, well, we can help at a limited capacity. But during series of meetings between their technicians and our technicians, they basically started saying things like, well, you know, Nyun Gambia now as a government, we are trying to build roads of higher standard. Basically, we now want roads that have enough width for moto muna park on either side. We want roads that have street lighting, and these roads, it will require us to demolish homes. And we're like, but you designed these roads, how come these things didn't come up? So it was an administrative strategy to make the roads exorbitantly expensive, to be out of budget for KMC, and in that way blocking it. So right now we don't have a consultant, and in this kind of works you need consultants. So lolu mo basically tarde project, but we are determined. We've paid 34 million, more than 10% of the total contract amount. We've begun minimal works where a consultant would not be very important, like drains in Bakau, even though we have some challenges. But we are determined to see it through. So ñun door nañ di source for other consultants.
So, but you can do this without NRA if it gets to that stage?
Legally, we can do it without NRA.
Legally?
But of course,
technically,
the minister is saying otherwise.
Or the minister saying otherwise?
Well, we've heard his comments, but it's political comments.
But why do you think that though? Because the people of KMC wants better services. And of course, the roads, UDP supporter, NPP supporter, right. Why do we have to go through stuff like that to be able to, central government, local government, do we have to go through this to be able to bring development to our people?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Gambia, unfortunately, political system has not matured. I mean, it should have been now a decades-old democracy, but we know that was interrupted through dictatorship 22 years. So we've restarted a new democracy. So institutions, the mindset, the maturity is not there politically. People cannot distinguish between the administration and, of course, your political affiliation. So, Degala, I mean, we are politicians. We all want our parties to have an advantage, but there must be a moral line you draw between advancing some party interests and retarding the country's development. I can give you two examples. Waka project. This is the project through World Bank, almost $50 million. That should build a canal on the Kotu Stream, which is a flood-prone area and causes a lot of issues during rainy season. We were one of the initial contributors to that project. I dare say one of the initiators of that project. But, you know, once the grant came, Ministry of Environment hijacked it, took control of it, but it didn't matter to us because end of the day, end of the day, what we want is for the implementation to happen, the benefit to come to the people. Another project where the waste processing facility, which ñun ñoko initiate, ñun ñoko promote, and even in the original document it says promoted by KMC, is a European Investment Bank funded project up to 48 million euros, where they will build a transfer station in KMC, biodigesters in Abuko and Banjul, and an engineered landfill in Berkama. And this would close the problem of the backwater dump site and these sort of dump sites. And in that project, the new take backwater dump site, new reclaim.
Okay.
Wow. So we promoted that project, authored it. At some point, you know, we were approached by the funders, and they said, look, government wants to take charge because it's a big project, and part of it, I'm not sovereign loan to it, and other part, grant law. I said, look, you don't even have to finish the sentence. Ñom nañ nekk promoter bi, KMC nekk a regular stakeholder, you know. And they said, oh, we are so thankful, you know, because they thought maybe as a politician, dama bañ mané no ñun ñoo hustle. What's the point of that? You know, what we want is for these problems to be fixed. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, we will fight for what we believe should be development that comes to KMC.
Is it because the time campaign, I'm president, I'm the law, and this man of the reflex all the time. Moine alkarte fay mole ni min se do ko keno. And dafa melni lolu mo nek di manifest. Central governments munta liggéey ak local governments, and then at the end of the day it is us the people that suffer. Mënu ñu am development. Kon dafa melni légui dañ wara bay di votal opposition hana.
I think
because
more than
suñ leen votalee duñu am development central government mooy control yëpp xanaa fu mu ne nii dafa mel ni
I think more than ever we should vote for opposition in councils. Reason being, government has 4 councils they control. They control Basse, they control Janjambure, they control Kerawan, you know, and they control Banadlasa, Kuntawur. Where's the development? It's as if they don't even exist. Can do they was an affair?
Yeah.
Kerawan, I mean, go to Bara, go to Farafenye, look at the dump sites. Bena tractor sa amuñ ko. And that's a government-led council. If you go to Basse right now, every day, the guys just post waste be in Basse. You know, where's the trucks? Where's the initiatives? Where's the community centers? Where's the amenities for the youths? You know, where are the council-led developments as government-supported councils? Time below the Degarek is either Banjul or Birkama or
KM.
Mansakonko or KM. That's all you hear. All you hear in local government councils is these UDP-led councils. So actually, in my view now, it's maybe better, sir, so council opposition, because we have to deliver. Because that's all we have to show the people. But maybe a government-led council will feel, harama relax, ma Mumbai, ma enjoy. I mean, let government do the work. That's the fact.
Now, what is happening ñu ngi si nawet KMC xam nañ ne nawet daf dee meet si region si yëpp especially boori Talinding gis naa fa ni man suma ko share naa ko benn loo yoon boo xam ne central government ñoo ko defar ñu ne defar nañ ko waaye dafa mel ni waa dëkk bi ñu ne ñoom nañ leen delloo baak seen yoon bi moo leen gënal
mooy yoon yi poto
waaw moo leen gënal right now because obviously yoon yi niñ ko dee defaree du dee am any drainage system then at the end of the day ndox yëpp ñu ngi dugg si nit ñi seen kër yi tali yi ñu ngi fees ak ndox what is the preparations levels at right now because nawet jot na te time bi daf dee metti trop pour people like ñooñu ñu nekk si faro yi.
So 6 months ago we always plan 6 months before the rainy season. amoon nañ stakeholders meeting with NRA and the Waka project which we are stakeholders of. Mooy we identified all the strategic drains around the municipality that we can excavate to prevent flooding. So KMC did, I think, 3-point-something kilometers already done. Waka did their part. NRA did their part. I mean, maybe 2 months back, you saw all the drains being excavated. Wow. So, as far as council is concerned, that's what we can do. With their existing drains to ensure that they are functioning. One day, Gambia is an underdeveloped country. Infrastructure is a big issue. Government through the OIC building certain roads. I mean, but all those roads, you know, they're flooding, especially Ibo Town. Road B has actually created more flooding problems than solutions. So I don't know what engineering issues were there. And these are the roads NRA is telling us that.
Tell the yen munu len ko build.
Exactly. Okay. So ben nit ñi di wax ne delo len ñu poto. Gambia needs a comprehensive master plan. I know there's been Yiriwa, there's been National Development Plan, but I think these are just terms that they throw out there. We need an actual, detailed, critical master plan that is based on a concept of the country of Gambia and a vision. And key in that should be infrastructure. I always say, don't muna defar bena yon nga buy 10, because what will happen, 10 yu bahuti will eventually undermine bena bu bah bi. Nga gis suuf bi all the time mu ngi ñëw si yoon yuñ defarut si yoon yuñ defar da nga gis ndox su run water su amee si yoon yuñ defarut dañoo undermine the road. So infrastructure boo defar sax du yaaga. As a government, I think one of the things they need to critically look at is how can they build all the urban roads in one go, just like Banjul, but done well. Make it a competitive process, bring experts to design it properly. Raise the bonds necessary that will yield and repay, so you don't need to go for direct loans. But it needs a lot of critical thinking. But it all starts with what is the vision of the head of state for the country next 30 years, 40 years. More than even the head of state, what is the vision of the government? Because head of state needs time.
It's the government.
Wow, so the government needs vision. And says, okay, by 2040, 2050, we want to end poverty in Gambia. How do we do that? key amongst them is education infrastructure, health infrastructure, sanitation infrastructure, road infrastructure for transport and accessibility. And then you build, a budget base of that, and then they build an architecture, financial architecture. How do we raise these funds to make sure these projects are invested in, and in a way, it will build the gross domestic product of Gambia, and we can comfortably pay it back in taxes or in investments. So there's experts in these areas. When the Nuno Demeni, remember Barrow was elected for, to bring transitional justice reform.
Yeah.
And that should have been his goal. The CRCs, the TRRCs, the Jane commissions, etc. All of them are failures, right? So why is he going for a third term?
Failures.
Ben Jaludi, So why is he going for a third term? So this is the critical question. But I'm diverting a bit. But what I'm basically coming at, Monica, there must be a focused vision about what we want the project of Gambia to be.
What we want the project Gambia to be, because NDP Wangfa, and definitely that is the government's guideline. They launched a 63 million agricultural project. If properly implemented, so
a lot of the projects are ad hoc. They are based on donor aid. They're based on what third-party bodies think Gambia should have. But we are not driving this country. We are not leading to a direction. We are not working on figures. How do we make sure that child mortality is at this %? How do we make sure that youth unemployment is at this %? How do we make sure that GDP growth is at that %? Foreign direct investment at that %? But at the end goal, what is the short summarized theme or legacy are we trying to reach? Are we trying to end poverty in Gambia by this year or cut it in half? Or are we trying to reach a human development index of this amount? What are we trying to achieve? So it's loosely put, it's plans that are loosely put together, largely driven by outside forces. But we don't have a plan in which we are heading, a direction in which we are heading. And how does local government tie into this? What is local government's plan? Or how do they deliver on this national development plan? So nothing is clear.
And that's my question. Yeah. How dafa melni development dafa tasaro?
Right.
Because central government and local government nekkuñ di liggéey. And at the end of the day, ku nekka ngi buga political because the reason why ñu am executive directors in councils mooy ne government dañ foog ne ñoom dañ bugg a defal seen boppa seen development instead of ñu indi ko to councils. And then that becomes a problem because loo xam ne councils ak government mënoon nañoo liggéey ñu def ko benn development goal mu dimbale askan bi mënut a nekk. And secondly, su councils buggee def dara because they are overseen by central government teg si seen tànka. At the end of the day, development mënut a am because mënuñoo jaxasoo ñu liggéey.
First of all,
should that be the direction of any society?
So councils amuñ doole to dictate what government does. Government moo am doole to influence what council does. So tasaro jahaso, that's government. Executive coordinators are not in councils.
Yeah.
They have their own offices. They don't have any mandate, anything to do with councils. They are put in place for political reasons. They are not put in place for development. I mean, since governors have been existing, since the new executive coordinators have come, what projects can you show that they have done? It's nothing. They're just in place. I always say, if Barrow invited every mayor on the table, which has never happened, by the way, since 8 years in leadership.
Why not trying and because now every day, every weekend, Barrow invite Naomi, Basse, Banjo,
he should invite all 8 mayors to sit on a table
and have a
say,
conversation.
This is a vision
for
how we want cities to play a part of our national plan. And this is the financial infrastructure we want to put in place to make sure that we deliver on this plan. I mean, if it was announced today that Gambia government gave KMC, let's say, $100 million to drive something, if that failed, we get the blame, but they get the credit. But it's unusual for Gambia, one of the few countries you get 0 subventions from government. So they cannot believe it. They're like, but what? How then do you solve the issue of affordable housing? How do you solve the issue of healthcare and critical childcare? How do you solve the issue of homelessness and mental care? They can't believe it.
But have you guys tried through Galga? Because right now the chairman of Galga is the Basse Area Council chairman. He's an NPP chairman. And he's the president. He should be able to facilitate these kind of engagements with the president. Pour them talk and wahak mom, gain a politics beside poor Gambian people with the population, because yena job about a majority of the people.
Absolutely. You know, when landing Sane of Mansakonko led Galga, we thought one of the reasons Luta they could not really make inroads was because it was opposition led.
Yeah.
And halat bimone konne, you know, if you have a friendly council in charge of Galga, maybe now you can get more from government, but it's actually worse. So what has happened over the years, man, I've become the biggest advocate and the biggest champion and fighter for government decentralization and local government empowerment.
Yeah.
Yobuna government twice to the Supreme Court to empower all councils, and all councils have been empowered. From NPP, UDP, everybody is empowered. Twice. The first one was to give freedoms of mayors to travel without having to get approval. Secondly, also for the interim management committee to be cancelled, meaning we don't have to leave office unceremoniously for an unelected and illegitimate body to take over the councils. Bobutam, we won it. The third one was the term limit. We said 4 years is in the constitution. Why are we doing 5? You know, and that doesn't favor maybe.
Why is a mandate?
You talk in office.
Why is a mandate?
The second Supreme Court case, Bobu dafa reinforce ne councils are highly autonomous bodies who have control over their administration, should have control over their administration.
Yeah.
Because can you believe that Lulu was even ambiguous? That was even a confusion. Moi buñ amé issue of our CEO, you know, as an elected body, you know, we don't want you anymore. Take her back. Yalen ko hire, jilad len ko, defna ay corruption. And then you say no, by force dafa ligay fofu non.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to go to the Supreme Court. For the Supreme Court, after a lot of destruction and chaos and lost time, for new gainer to reinforce the CEO is under the direction and control of council. Which is explicitly said in the Local Government Act.
But and then that lolo mo jur sax lolo yep mo jur commission bi nekk ni, and ñu ngi gis how it's affecting the running of councils, because obviously CEOs and higher level officers are appointed by central government, and then at some point kula appoint nga gëna ragal pour jël decisions against. So sometimes in some instant when there was a conflict, the CEO was not listening to you, he was listening to the ministry, and then mungi cause problems KSC council. So how do we solve all of these if you guys are not in good relationship with government? Decentralization amut gis nañ ne même si constitution bi dahani, which we will talk about, nekku fa. So dafa melni ba tay this is going to continue.
So you wouldn't understand that this is a systemic problem unless I left office. I'm an opposition mayor in office, so maybe the new so you say chaos be opposition yafaneka.
Yeah.
I want to remind people a little bit of history. When Lai Conte was there as a APRC-led council, in cohorts with the APRC-led government, it was the same issue. Lai Conte mo dañ ko arrest, dañ ko handcuff, defal ko commission. So the issue is systemic. Man suma fa génnee next mayor buy ñëw te ñako ko do su fekkone they were with government, they will not fight, but council we will still have critical issues. Dafa administration bi, maladministration bi, and all the problems will even be worse. Okay, so what should really happen is government should work. Lolu moy problem bi. Government as an institution is not working. So for example, in the Local Government Act, Ministry of Local Government should inspect councils quarterly. That is not happening.
That's not happening.
Okay. National Audit Office, the power audit councils and other government agencies annually, right? So the last audit, I think, was 2021. That was the last audit 5 years ago. If these audits were periodic, they were
And they're coming on time.
The reports went to FPAC. FPAC created law, or ministry created regulation. I mean, the findings that the commission are finding now will still be found by the Finance Public Accounts Committee. You understand? And also, the fraud squad is here. The anti-corruption agency was in place. If government just allowed their institutions to function and empower their institutions for new function, oversight, regulation, control, and making sure councils are heading in the right direction should not be an issue. Gis nga Fatou doo ko xam be commission amaat of all the institutions of government. Da nga daw. You know, but already FPAC is revealing so much, just not in councils but all over the country. So what we have more than a mixture, a dangerous mixture of a cultural problem, of maladministration, and also mixed with poverty. The issue is so aggravated. But let me break that cycle. What can break this vicious cycle is good governance and through the leadership of the central government.
Kon dafa melni reforms yuñ waxoon from 2016 bi ñu doon ñëw loolu moo tax li yëpp mu continuer am.
Of course. So like I said, Barrow was elected to bring transition. Mooy the transition justice reform, transitional justice reform. And in this reform were many things. You know, a new constitution that had more morality and allowed the effective functioning of government and good practices and international, of course, best practices and governance. The civil service reform should have been part of it. The Truth Reconciliation Commission. The Jane Commission. Those findings should have really brought new good laws, new good policies, new good regulation, and institutional restructuring pour am a new Gambia. Wante ñaaka achieve lolu motax ba legi we have these issues and we will continue to have them unless that is done. So that was the promise of President Barrow. So he's basically been distracted by the politics and more focused on just winning. And now we get them third term. And I always said, if Barrow ever won a third term, he will go for fourth term.
Barrow mu ne yéen bu leen ko wax dara si third term. Dégg nga li mu wax barki démb.
Non man
mu ne dinewol mi mbe cappi doole la.
Non man dégul ma ko non.
Dégulo mu ne dinewol mi mbe cappi lay baaf la ibe min tole kabri ibe dol bi la randa ko mu ne am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi si ron lali am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi si ron table yi ñoom bu ñoo xeex taami jaame ñun yéen a ngi si ron table yi ñi leen si ron lali ñun daw nañ ñu ngi si diaspora bi ñu ngi noppi ba moom mu xeex ba ñu win tey ñu ñoo ko nekk di wax taataam.
Lii laa wax is the personalization of government. Barrow pour mu nekk president, a lot of people contributed, a lot of people fought, a lot of people died. You know, he was the face of the efforts of the collective. And ku daw diaspora, kooku di fight Jammeh online or di send xaalis, loolu la mun a def. Ku toog fii nekk si ron table bi wante mi ngi joxe lu mun a joxe or mi ngi advocate pour Jammeh wàcca loolu la mun a def. Ku mun a génn si mbedd bi xeex kooku tam loolu la mun a def.
waaye moom sax dafa xawoon a daw tuuti bu ñëw dellu si waat because we needed him to leave so that the Gambia can stay because we need the president safe and sound. So moom at some point moom tam daw
I was part of Gambia has decided I've never crossed the border until Jammeh left. Man Jammeh moom ma jëkk a génn dëkk bi. I was always in country. But it doesn't matter what. Jammeh was a threat to the lives and livelihood of people. Nit ku nga xam ne gis nga sa dee wala gis nga sa yaaxu doo toog di ko xaar. So moom as a leader waruta belittle people's efforts and waruta belittle Gambians mu xam ne he was a symbol ñun dañ ko yaakaar moo tax ñu def ko fa. Yaakaar boobu am na li tax lu tax moo nekk Gambie ni bugaatu ñoo dunda luñ dindoon onda Jammeh dañu bëgg suñ jaama dañu bëgg suñ taranga dañu bëgg suñ jëm kanam moom lañ yaakaar pour mu indi loolu. wante loolu munta am bàyyi luwaa gannaaw luwaa boobu nag mooy transition bu mu waroon a def defaraat nguur gi defaraat institution yi luwaa yu baax da ngaa gis ne ku mun di nekk président yow foog nga doxal lu baax rek.
waaye luwaa boobu la Barrow indi di draft constitution bi yéen a ko saan 2024 draft bi ñëw na am nañ 50+1 am nañ term limit even though ngeen ne Barrow constitution bi mu ne Barrow mun naa ron waaye loolu bàyyi leen ko Gambia ni waaye at least am na 1 or 2 progressive laws even though man I was the first person to say back to sender man kay waxoon naa ko maa ko fi njëkk a wax back to sender and I said it several times the more I look into the document I say back to sender waaye ma ne at least 50 plus man su ma nekkoon politician man 50 plus bi rek dafa tax ma sànni ma vote for lii mu toog den bu ñëwee ba toog ñu def changes suñ si bëgg because kenn mënut a am perfect constitution waaye yéen seen parti bi da ngeen ne dot sax suñ ko fa génnee duñ ko vote ngeen throw constitution bi si biti
loolu moo war first of all I don't think constitution bu Barrow ini Barrow sax bugga na ko mu paas daf ko ini pour international community bi wax ne rek ini na constitution opposition baa ko block wante constitution bi dara baaxu si xam nga toogoon nañ ma ne la ne soo seetee America ñu bind seen constitution ñëpp mun nañu wax seen tur seen founding fathers yi
yes
this year ñoom South Africa ñu bind seen constitution bu ees bi ñëpp mun nañu wax seen tur Gambia ñu bind 2020 draft bi under the leadership of Cherno Jallow and co almost 20 of them ñëpp mun nañu wax seen tur wante 2024 ku ko bind
Barrow ak Dawda Jallow
exactly so basically President Barrow daf doon face a lot of noise si international community bi ne li tax international community bi support ko Gambia ni support ko defu ko and mooy transitional justice reform and at the top of it moo nekk constitutional reform pour indi constitution bu ees so coow boobu la bugg a rey because moom support 2020 draft bi bu nga xam ne was lu nga xam ne dañu lejte Gambia ni yëpp man suma boppa attend na consultation bi Westfield and bu ma fa nekk sa Christian yi were raising objections am na ñeneen ñu doon raise objections ñu noo wax seen xalaat we were consulted the Gambians were consulted the drafters dañ ñu approach Cherno mi ngi toog Uncle Cherno dañ ñu approach ñu laaj ñu understand nga so that constitution was good because it incorporated the thoughts of Gambians it was balanced in terms of ensuring that the 3 arms of government nañ mun a countante it reduced presidential power to make sure that they can be checked so basically it was moral it had morality understand nga local governments were empowered etc and remember the only HO bu fa nekkoon mooy this retroactive clause understand loolu moo tax constitution boobu demut but it was a good constitution why did they bring this 2024 draft they brought it to fail and it would have failed anyway su jàlloon parliament referendum dafa fail
waaye fooguloo ne yéen da ngeen fall si trap bi yéen waa UDP
sinaga
Barrow comme ni nga ko waxee Barrow bugut mu paas waaye mu indi ko rek pour ne UDP ñoo ko sànni because soo ko seetloo man I thought ne yéen committee of the si National Assembly bi chairman bi Madi Cissé la nga am 4 extra 5 members of the opposition NPP was just 3 there ñoom suñ demoon committee stage mënoon nañ ko edit nuñ ko buggee suñ demee the assembly of the whole house su leen neexee ñu bàyyi waa NPP xool leen ndax dinañ ko vote out ndax dinañ vote luñ amendment suñ fa def
lu baax ba pare nga mun a defar mu gën a baax
wante lu yaaxu nga edit ko kon dafa yaaxoon noonu
dafa yaaxu because soo xoolee 2024 draft bi sections of the 2020 were deleted completely soo xoolee even local government powers were reduced drastically ñun amuñ power right now and 1% power bu ñu am ñu bugg a koo jël kon kenn du taxawaat council so basically it was brought to fail gis nga su jaaloon parliament sax xam nga parliament 75% la soxla pour mu jaal but referendum at least 50% of Gambians should vote and 75% other 50% should vote for it and that would have never happened so basically it could not be risked pour mu ñëw sax to the committee passer the committee stage dafa bon kenn waru koo entertain and Barrow dañ ko war a wax dëgga nguur yaa daf dee jee and benn dee na toog di xalaat si lu ma nekkoon lan laa doon def and tey war naa toog mi ne yaa jame si lu mu nekka Macky Sall si lu mu nekka luñ dee xalaat amoon na bés ñoo ma ëppa doole amoon na bés ñoo ma gën a contrôle dëkk bi
tey jaame audio rek la di yónnee
wante xam nga leadership moom is very interesting soo toogee si toogu bi doo dee gis xaw ma lu tax wante war naa bàyyi xelam bu baax man am one of the people who always repeat this dëgg la bokkuma parti ak Barrow wante ene naa ko jaama because jaamaam tam jaama réew mi la wante man lu ma dee advice mooy nit ki daal sooy jiite dara waxal lii moo gën si man moo gën si réew mi wante tey moom su demee Jawara def na 30 years Yaya Jammeh def 22 years moom su bëggee dem 15 wala 20 years ndax this cycle na ever stop and moom am na chance as the face of the transition pour bàyyi a long lasting legacy gis nga Barrow su buildut woon benn tali buildut woon benn lopitaan benn school and lum achieve during his presidency rek mooy this transitional justice reform his legacy will be greater than Jammeh and Jawara combined.
Yeah, that's true.
And man, I always say something nit daf dee fàtte ne dafa dee. Wow. Every human being you never think I will die you live like you're never going to die. And suñu life dafa gàtta. Man every day as a politician maa ngi leen dëj si bàmmeel ñu nga xam ne maa ngi toogoon démba di waxtaan ak ñoom ñu ngi maa wax seen ideas seen plan seen vision. And now they are gone. So I think part of dunda mooy pour nga xam ne da ngaa dem. léegi soo demee lan la nit ñi di fàttaliku sa affaire. And that's your legacy and politician tam noonu nga war a xalaatee office. The job is not a position is a function moomuloo ko function la rek. Before that you are a real estate dealer before that you were a semester before that you were a footballer in school. It's functions of life it's the motions of life and dafa nga am bii mu romba nga am bale mu romba Barrow luñ ko indi mu nekk international representative of the Gambia or ECOWAS or AU or bigger you know ku mun di jël su fekkee parteem moo jël salaam he's left his legacy su partum jëlut keneen jël salaam bon de moom def na partam
waaye léegi comme ñun Barrow mënuñ ko wax bu mu ron taataam de comme suñ constitution bi may na ko mun na ron ba 10 times su ko neexee loolu mu nekk
constitution bu mu waroon na change
waaw waaye
duñ ko elect pour mu change
yéen a ko saani bii yoon yéen a saani bii
non bii moom du constitution bii kayit la rek
xanaa yooyaay maar yi mën na di Barrow
bii amut authors kan moo bind constitution
Barrow la ak Dawda Jallow
moom nag mënut a bind constitution bi because du expert and then constitution bi affect na ko so he's an affected party it should be given to independent people you know who know law and who are drafts people you know comme nuñ defee the 2020 comme the big constitutions in the world yu ma la nii you know that have lasted
what
the
is
test
the way
of time.
forward because suñ problème yëpp reforms la Gambia dama dee wax ne we are not sort of laws implementation suñ problème la but suñ biggest problem tey mooy reforms suñ war a def institutional reforms tey IGP boo xam ne is answerable to the president kooku munut a aate diggante man maa président daf koo faral te loolu problème la dama am suma right président am right nga dem si independent electoral commission ñoo xam ne ñoo dee aate ñun ñëpp kan moo leen dee taana the president foog nga ne tey kooku dina risk jobam it's gonna take a very honorable person to do that the chief justice and all of these people so soo xoolee institutions si yëpp suñ amutee proper reforms dafa difficult for the ordinary man mu mun a survive si dëkk bi and loolu moo tax dëkk bi mu jaxasoo people are scared of their jobs and I say this people are scared of their jobs loolu moo tax I said constitution bi pour ñu mun a vet certain positions si National Assembly bi loolu dafa am solo because su boobaa soo xamee job security nga am job guarantee dangaa doo faale at least di nga bëgg a def lu baax am na ñu baax si dëkk bi waaye dañ dee ragal tam seen njaboot su ma ñàkkee suma liggéey kan mooy dundal suma njaboot loolu yëpp daf dee play into their judgment so reforms dafa am solo suñu amutee proper reforms dara du dox si dëkk bi léegi amuñ constitution Barrow constitution 1997 moo fi nekk jox na président a lot of doole and all this what is the way forward right now do we go back to the assembly and amend the 1997 or do we start all over what do we do
well I think you've described it very well Gambia in my opinion amul direction
mu ngi nii courant dem na
nii
lañ toll ñun every show courant dafa dem nawet lañ gën a war a reform
these are chronic issues bu nga xam ne I mean since 1965 you know Gambia has chronic problems you know and doo ko xam be nga nekk a grassroots politician di dugg si koñ yi di xool poverty bi you know even things like flush toilets in urban KMC is a luxury you know septic tank buy dox is a luxury you know so there's chronic community and human problems bu nga xam ne du musa deñ if we don't set the foundation right and feel a strong principled leadership day ñëwee into play I mean, Gambia nekundi govern, we are politicking. I mean, we just need to go 5 minutes on Facebook. Guribe suba sagante, tumalante, nganyante. There's nothing positive there. Man, on my Facebook, sir. Man, my accounts are one way. Suma wahe rek pare na si. So I don't even scan social media. I don't scan the news. Mota wahyo malaj ni degumako. Because it's just so toxic. But liyep goes back to leadership. You know, Gambia needs to be set on the right platform. Transitional justice reform, set the law straight, build the institutions, start governing, and inspire people to want to do the right thing, to be better. Your president, di defante. Just like the comments he said. What example are you giving the young people?
Ñun social media.
You know?
Mune lunde wa suko degi. Billahi su dafa mboka si nono.
So basically, leadership is critical. You know? It's very, very, very important. You know, Mansandana Yala, you know, I said to myself, I want to get into politics young. I wanted to get into politics when I can do it comfortably, when I don't have to worry about food on the table. And I'll do my best and follow my conviction and my conscience. And thank God I've been doing it to date. And I have good family who advise me, good friends and elders. So it is important to be grounded. And it is important to know what you are trying to achieve. So ko achieve renga bay. Man KMC wax deug yalla, I wanted to achieve a lot more. On the envision the political divisions that would happen in 2019 that was transgressed into fighting with government and push and pull. I was looking at a period of rapid development, period of good governance, evolving the municipality into at least a semi, well-off area. But LIEP comes back to leadership, from the top, because the president has power centered and concentrated around his office, right? So, I made that will, that iron will, I want to set Gambia right. I want there to be checks and balances. I want institutions to be built off of principles and values. Bunga hamne will last the test of time. I want social media at least to be decent, by bringing good laws and showing good examples, Buma allow kuneka nga wax lula ne, def lula ne, and it doesn't matter who does it. And it's not the president pour wax nit ne demal nga arrest ki daf ma saga. Just set good fundamental, based on morality, based on values, Gambian values, laws that govern this country, and push these institutions to comply. And you have to use the carrot and stick. One day, if they, Gambia man is just a mess, you can't even keep up. So sometimes man soon even accuse a man or KMC. I don't even bother tonto because balanga tonto rek. There's another accusation that comes. So basically, Fatou, what I'm reinforcing is that there has to be good leadership based on the transitional justice reform that was the promise of Gambia through the vehicle of President Adama Barrow.
Yow dal da nga lu nekk dal lang ko jox Barrow.
Moy kilifa dekk bi.
Te yéen tamit yow yaay kilifa KMC ñoo KMC.
Kilifa si ron kilifa. Moom mooy suñu
kilifa si ron kilifa. Okay. Now let's look at KM again. Commission inquiry ñëw na. Si commission bi gis nañ. So one thing that Dabo keeps saying, Moine, if you want to know what UDP government will look like, look at Banjul, look at KM, look at Birkama. When you said council, and the commission is giving us a glimpse of what UDP leadership is going to look like. I'm going to start with your council. In KM, commission revelations, what it showed was a lot of procedural anomalies, right? One in they follow procedures on sometimes appointments of staff. I think it was the biggest scandal lima gis so far mooy sa passport bi nga jël suñ xaalis KMC taxpayer money fay ko nit pour mu dem jël sa passport bi ñaata la woon sax 40,000 that's a lot of money. $40,000 and also obviously procedures of appointing people am na ñu allege ne yow sa bopp yàlla de wax ne jëlal kii fay ko grade bi te fekk eguñ foofu. That's not the kind of leadership we want a UDP government.
Right.
What's your answer to that?
So in terms of the allegations directly leveled against me in terms of procedural lapses, I think now by su ma demee foofu noonu because I'll be asked and dëkk bi yëpp nañ ko dégg. But in terms of just generally, in terms of administration, KMC has gone through a big evolution. Yun bu ñoo ñëw si council bi, people forget. That was the political heartbeat of the former regime. The staff were political appointees and they were bona fide position holders in that political party, which was the APRC. The council was funding political party activities, including paying for hotels, including paying for rallies, including paying for musical jamborees in Kanilai. The council was basically just existing to support the political agenda of the then regime. Ñun bu ñu ñëwee KMC, it was even a marketplace. Dañ fa dee jaay yàppa. Soo bëggee jënd ndawal mun ngaa dugg KMC nga jënd ndawal.
Mooy jaame ndawal yu mu daan joxe noonu.
Exactly.
Mooy nag yu ñu daan séddoo.
Dañ ko dee jaay sax. Every corner was barada ak kaas. There was attire happening in KMC. Da ngaa gis ñuy line yaay companies and all that. They receive cash from KMC's cash vault. There's so many things. More it's surprising the commission even demod back. You know, they demod back pour set the anomalies pre ñun bu ñëwé as a council. So when we came in, ñun ñoo jëkka dugal even staff scheme of service, council bylaws, HR audit, bringing sanity and reforming the council. Mota manam de wax ne my biggest achievement is not the library, it's not the school improvements, it's not the parks, it's not the markets I've built, it's not the Mbalit project. My biggest achievement as mayor is institutional reform.
In
KMC. Turning it from a political bureau to a functioning service-driven institution. And I'm proud to say that anywhere. Now, of course, KMC is not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. We have inefficiencies, we have procedural issues, we have corruption issues. Nobody's going to deny that. But the question is, when these issues come up, how we act, what we do about it. There is no corruption known in KMC that was not dealt with, reported in Nyunsing Council, Amut. Even the issues that they are investigating at the FPAC, at the Commission of Inquiry, all of those issues are based off of paperwork that council be generated. Either a committee detected it and began an investigation that led nowhere, or found the culprits and reported to the ministry, or terminated people's services. But it was based on committee reports. For the first time, I don't want to talk about all councils, but I think KMC is maybe one of the few or the only council that meets regularly every month through a general council where its committees functioning recommend to the general body, where we resolute and keep on record. From 2018 to date, I can pull you every general council resolution, every committee meeting, every minutes. So, Fatou, we've been governing. But it is not perfect. Why is it not perfect? It comes back to the laws. Tayman, I don't hire the CEO and the staff as a mayor, as an elected mayor. Nor does the council hire the CEO and the directors, the heads of administration. These are hired and can be only fired by the Local Government Service Commission that is appointed by the Minister of Local Government. So a third-party entity under the control of government, ñooñu jox suñu liggéeykat yi. Liggéeykat yooyu ñooy sign all checks, ñooy def all administrative issues. So if today the CEO is not answerable, waxuma not reporting them, but is not answerable to me, I am not answerable to the council. It means I don't have authority. And if I don't have authority, I don't have the responsibility and you cannot hold me accountable. But more than any council si dëkk bi, smota KMC here bi nekk fofu continuously. I have been fighting for councils to have autonomy.
Yeah.
Because I want us to have the responsibility. I want us to have the authority. I want us to be held accountable for what happens in council because we were elected to do a job.
So let's look at the FPAC report.
Yeah.
7.6 million vouchers that were not they cannot account for. Right. What happened to that?
So first of all, Alaji Dabo, he's a good brother. He's the chairman of the Finance Public Accounts Committee, and they could not have had any better chairman. I know him. He's very procedure-driven, very intelligent, very honest person, and just right guy been in a new letter. We are friendly counsel to UDP, but they still wrote a letter, and we respect all the parliamentarians on that committee. And I seen a publication that emanated from our administration offended them, and we are sorry about that. We've talked about the matter internally. It's not the parliament we wanted to offend, right? So I think Koko Binda was a bit defensive about that story that emanated from that newspaper, Alcamba Times. The 7.6 million vouchers, the copies are all with us.
Okay.
Guy, the finance committee led by Karamo Sise, they found all the vouchers, the copies, but the originals are with the Commission of Inquiry.
Oh, the originals are with the Commission of Inquiry.
But the digital copies are with us.
Okay.
So we found all the listed vouchers. So what people need to remember, this was the audit of 2020. This is not a recent audit.
2020 audit.
2020 audit.
Okay.
And this audit was happening in 2021.
Okay.
What was going on in KMC in 2021?
Oh, that was the...
We had PIU officers sent by government in our council with guns. We had PIU officers trying to force the CEO back to her office. There was an impasse.
There was an impasse, yes.
So how can we function as an administration when we are fighting with government? The Daji office, the fight by force CEO with the Waraneka, and this impasse, remember, it went on for a year or two because it started new injunction. The High Court removed that injunction. They came again, and then that's when I knew Daji Buntabi, and all the time there was armed officers. There was an impasse. That is when this audit was going on. So based on my understanding, the first amount of unpresented vouchers was up to 40-something million. But then the Director of Finance started finding them in the chaos. Dilen Joh voucher, be 7 million des. But the time they closed their audit, 7 million was unpresented. But an audit will not look at it as unpresented. They will say missing.
Missing, yes.
Auditors, they don't joke.
Yeah.
They ask you for something, they give you a deadline, it doesn't happen, they say these are missing.
Yeah.
So that report, of course, goes to FPAC. And FPAC, rightly so, will say these are missing.
Yes.
And I give you 30 days to present it.
Okay. Have you guys presented it?
No. So the 30 days started last week.
Okay.
So we have found all the digital copies of the vouchers, 7.6 million. But the originals are with the Commission of Inquiry because these are simultaneous things going on.
At the same time.
They ask for all our documents. They took originals, they didn't take copies. Wow. So we have written to them asking for the originals. So we can send those
to FPAC.
Understand what I mean? But Gambia, man mom, so they get this, and somehow they want to connect. I am not the CEO, I'm not the Director of Finance, I'm not in the Finance Committee. They want to connect. Oh, Talib Bensouda, 7.6 million.
You are the leader of the council.
But you say KMC under the leadership, but you don't say. I even saw one guy who said, Talib Bensouda dafa forge vouchers of 7.6 million, Mujil 7.6 million. So
because you are the leader.
Well, but they lie. Okay. They lie and they fabricate and they create narratives that just seek to mislead the general public. And Mota Manela, we can't catch a break. Sometimes it's like, that you turn to, that you clarify, and you say it's not worth it, because by the time we clarify, create a narrative. But we accept maybe we are politicians, we are opposition, we are fighting with other people. But I just wish Gambians were more decent in terms of how they conduct their politics.
So you are saying that you guys are working on presenting this. You have found the digital copies?
But I've told the Finance Committee, look, the Parliament is, the FPAC is right, the language in the presser did not paint them in the best light, and that they should apologize for.
Okay.
But the vouchers are with us. The copies are with us, but we will get the originals from the Commission of Inquiry and present it to them. But the impasse is what caused the audit to close without these vouchers being presented on time, therefore categorizing them as missing.
That is very clear. Another thing that was flagged, that is 125,000 on the lodge collection by a revenue collector in 2018. That was also flagged by the...
In 2018?
2018.
Yeah, 2018.
That
what period?
My timing, I just knew.
Well, there's man half year.
Half year, wow.
So and that was our first year. I mean,
yeah.
2018, whatever happened there, the council has not gone through our leadership reform anyway. But I think that may have been before us. If it was after us, the audit query would have come in 2019.
Yeah. And I think the biggest challenge that I see in the FPAC report is uncollected rate arrears.
Yeah.
242 million
Yeah.
and 253 million in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
That collectively is over $500 million that is not collected.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because taxpayers are not paying. And these are the critical issues we face as a council. Motamala Council of chronic issues, and this is countrywide. I mean, the uncollected tax by central government is hundreds of billions. You know, so tax compliance issue all around. But what is the chronic issue preventing people or institutions to collect these taxes effectively? One, there has not been a valuation of properties since 2005. And the local government act says, or the rates act says, that the Ministry of Lands should do a valuation rule every 5 years. They haven't conducted one since 2005. Number two, Gambia doesn't have a functioning address system.
Yeah.
Today I'm in your studio. What's the address?
I don't know.
What's the number? What's the road name?
No. Why is my Kirmon definitely for something?
Yeah, so that's why we launched that project, that Google Plus codes, which came later.
Yeah.
We partnered with Google, we partnered with the Ministry of Information. Now every compound in KMC has a plus code.
Yes.
So Motamane, I went to Paris to present on tax optimization. So we have connected these plus codes to now the only and the newest, and I think it might be the only, geographical information systems department in the Gambia. KMC has that in-house. We have now a IT area where there's tons of computers, and we are working with satellite and seeing the maps of every compound, parcels of land. We now know we have 36,000 parcels of land inside KMC, more compounds. We have now successfully connected every compound via satellite to your Google Plus code, to your global positioning system.
Wow.
Unprecedented. What is happening in KMC is unprecedented. So now we are connecting that GPS or Google Plus code to the rates database, to the matrix system. So for the first time now we will know, oh, Fatou, Toure, located with this Google Plus code in this area, this is their property and is valued at this amount based on 2005 valuation.
Man valued every year.
So what was happening before?
Yes.
There's no information. There's no data.
There's no data.
Fatou, I apologize for saying this, but sometimes Gambia have them and deka. Because you have to have information about your citizenry.
Yeah.
And one of the basic things you need is you need to have an address.
Yeah.
Because this address is what? Today you called an ambulance. What are you going to tell them? You call the fire service. What are you going to tell them? So emergency services, you call the police. Today with your utilities, that Nawekla, that Gamtel, that telecoms company, how are they going to find you to give you these vital services? And for billing, taxation, government, central government, GRA, local government, all these other entities, how are they going to effectively collect revenue from their tax base?
But what is KMC
now these
doing?
Services of companies, you're a company, you have a delivery company, or you have a postal company, or you have a cake company. How are you going to deliver your products to these houses? Fundamentals are not there. You come up with the Google Plus codes with partnership with Ministry of Information. We also now are trying to connect the data, the information we have on these codes, to our matrix database, which is the rates database. So, we already put all the maps together. Just in the last year, KMC rates officers, the new distribute, I think 15,000 demand notes, the demand notes for rates. Until August. And they said, they have served the entire municipality. By then, our project has not started. More the tax optimization project. It has not started.
Yeah.
Boom started when you parcel municipality be. We found that the entire municipality is 36,000 compounds.
Wow.
So you send 15,000 when you serve is less than 50%.
Less than 50%.
And then we found out the amount of people who actually paid was less than 30%.
Wow.
So now we have information. So this year, January, end of June, we have already served 18,000 demand notes. 18,000.
18,000.
More than what we did
Last year.
entire last year.
Okay.
So now we are going to continue. So by the time you eat 36,000, everybody is served. And then we work on the compliance side of it. So this year we're expecting we will get tax compliance of 50 to 60%. So more than you Oma France, I was, as a mayor, I'm sitting by ministers, foreign affairs of France, economic development of Ivory Coast, and presenting on what KMC is doing. So for the first time, Tamit, our Mbali trucks, each of our Mbali trucks has a global positioning system device in it. Every Mbali truck. So we have a tracker in the office, a screen, Simbali department. They know where every truck is at any point in time. They know how much fuel is in your tank. They know what speed you're going at. They know if the truck is resting and not moving. What locations are they going to? So for the first time as a mayor, I have information about where the trucks are going. So we found out on roads that are built, the trucks can make up to 100 trips on that road during the year. But in the riverine areas, they are underdeveloped. The they are hard to access. The trucks are going there less than 9 times, less than 5 times in the year.
Wow.
And then we are doing an air quality survey. Now, we will know where waste burning is happening and connect it. Is because trucks in And our latest study shows that 25% of residents of KMC have breathing issues related to waste burning.
Waste burning, wow.
Information is power. For the first time,
Data collection.
Wow, all of this, I thought we were doing much more. Now we know that 60% of the solid waste within the region is being collected. But when we came into office 2018, only less than 4% was being collected.
It was bad.
So Fatou, we have data. KMC is moving way and beyond a lot of institutions in the Gambia. So Mota Manila, my legacy has been that institutional reform. Do director, do manager, everybody is awakened.
How has data collection empowered your leadership? Because, you know, I think it's important for people to know, because imagine when you don't know. How has that empowered you effective as a council?
Data is everything. I mean, so deliver services, how you measuring the impact. Also service, that problem in are being solved. The only way you can do that more information, data.
Yeah.
You know, so right now we're working with a lot of data in KMC. So these projects I'm talking to French Development Agency to see if they can scale it countrywide.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I went there, I'm a Gambian. I want Gambia to go forward. What I told them is, look, we have other area councils, and this is so powerful. What is happening to KMC? Can't we just scale this countrywide? Because Dekabiso Ame Lulu, we will start having information we need to make good decisions to move forward as a country.
Now, the 12,000 loan land acquisition, I mean, I saw it. I'm like, this was the issue, the biggest issue Sen Council deal with.
Exactly.
And but did you guys, most of these issues, you guys did not either do investigations or present the reports to FPAC? Is it because of
the land issue? I mean, everybody knows that's the fraud that brought KMC to a standstill.
Yeah.
You know, that
Why hanga
is the-
soju hute FPAC report we then go flag
No,
as
we
not
reported to our line ministry. We don't have direct dealings with FPAC. We
Yeah.
reported to the line ministry. We reported to the police who refused to investigate because the line ministry told them to stop. That is not their mandate.
even the 30,000 bribe solicitation wax nañ
Yep,
ko FPAC wax na ko.
is the
Mooy bu
reason
Seynabou-
I entered fight with the government.
waaw mooy Seynabou boobu waaw mu ngi ne FPAC wax na ko de.
And
waaye gisuma loolu nit ñi wax ko si kaw waaye mu ngi si
because
FPAC.
xam nañ ne bii Talib moo ko fight.
Yeah.
Because bii credit is Talib's credit as fighting corruption. So boobu kenn bëggu koo wax. Right? Kenn bëggu koo wax. Because they see that as, oh, this is one of the things Talib has under his belt as a fight
Because the
against
reason
corruption.
why I say this, 12 million more over 7.6, and obviously we all flagged the 7.6 missing vouchers, but the 12 million was also
It's more.
seriously flagged by
It's
the
more, but
FPAC.
because that is the one they feel, oh,
Yeah.
this is more and better. Bobo lañ bëgg a use as a
and
political
30
punchline.
and the 30,000 also. So these were things, but basically, I think that was the biggest issue that came up, and I think they also sent systems. The
Again, we reported
you
that.
reported that. I remember that was said, but they also flagged it.
Yeah, but you see, that one is not attractive for the media because the 200,000 detected as deleted in the system.
Deleted system,
was
200,000.
reported by our finance committee.
Yeah.
So it was sent to me via a memo.
Yeah.
By the, I think it was one of the directors, and then I sent it to the finance committee for investigation.
Yeah. 297,000.
Well,
Yeah.
the guy who developed the system, and they could not come to a resolution as to how that happened or who did it. So
Yeah.
Wediyante be barifa, accusation be barifa. There was no hard evidence as to who actually did it. But we created all the documentations to show this was an issue we detected, a potential fraud we detected, and must be investigated. And let me tell you, if that memo came to my office or need ñoo wax mako, maneko nopil affaire, today it will not be a topic.
Yeah.
The $12 million issue, it was reported to me. I put it in writing. Man ma bin the first paper,
Yeah.
the report matter. If I said, oh, forget about it, it would not be an issue.
Yeah.
You know, so people know that these are the issues on the mayor's belt as a champion against corruption. It's not attractive. What is attractive is 7 million missing vouchers.
Yeah.
Or we say unpresented vouchers, which are now found. Oh, how did this happen? Let's create castles in the sky. You know, so.
I know you will go to the commission at some point. We think
Yeah, I
you'll
think
go.
so, yeah.
I think you will go. Are we going to see any? Because okay, so guy testifying. I think majority of your people have testified. Mostly in the financing over 10,000 or something. You know, like so far, and I think the biggest scandal we make aside more the $40,000 CB. The mbalit project bu nga xam ne ñëpp ñu ne foofu nga jëlee millions yu bari gisanguma any documentation to prove that so far. Are we expecting any explosives at the commission? Because to be honest though, there are so many explosives right now happening at the commission. That is not a good representation of your party. I mean, it's not your council, and I'm not going to deal in that. But to be honest, are we expecting any explosive from KMC?
I'm the most investigated person in the Gambia. Man, depuis split between NPP and UDP, they saw me as a champion of UDP. When the Mbalit project was brought, there was an investigation by State House. By GPPA, their documents on the contract was missing, and they wanted copies. We asked why, or State House was conducting investigation, and they took our copies. Then Korea, there was the remember that investigation that the ministry brought inspectors.
Yes.
You remember that? For a couple of months, you've been the report, and all their findings were aligning with my version of the story, all their facts and all their evidences. Of course, the minister didn't want to hear it. Must scrap report, Bobo. We still have the report. These were people from the Ministry of Finance, people from the Ministry of Lands, who were created through a joint task force by the Ministry of Local Government to investigate me. Understand? Then, of course, there was the attempt with the First Ministerial Commission of Inquiry, which we knew exactly what they were looking for, and we sort of, defeated them in court. And now this grand Commission of Inquiry. But even before that, remember my election.
Yes.
They tried every trick in the book. Gis nga one of the things I'm grateful for, these experiences, dañ ma jox political bulletproof. Man ligi dara duma de tiital, dara duma de ragal.
I see that you have
I have changed.
You have changed so
I have
much,
changed.
and I'm
I have
thinking,
changed.
what happened? I was
No,
telling somebody yesterday.
I
I'm like,
changed,
you have changed so much.
But I changed for the better.
What happened? Why?
So
What
I came
happened?
into politics to just work. Man time bobu ken duma dega media, ken duma dega my caricature ken tooñ ken du dega suma bad politics.
Yeah.
Because I came as a agent of change. I wanted to just deliver services. Man lolu moma dey excite. You know, going to rallies, it's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
You know? I go because that's part of politics.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is, how do we sit as a team, develop a project, high impact, them seeing, wow, you've changed our lives. One of my best experiences was Bakau, when a study was done by the Ministry of Health, and it said, due to the interventions by the Mbalit project, malaria cases had gone down 50% in the community of Bakau. But then they wouldn't let me walk, Fatou. From the trying not for the Mbalit project to happen. Even when you're Dimbale trucks or help, KMC is the most densely populated municipality. Most amount of garbage concentration that is generated in a day. If you saw Pikut Balit ben a day, chaos.
Yeah.
You're not helping me, and then you try to fight me. Every step of the way, you're trying to block, fight, tutil, intervene, And then I realized, wow, I was naive. Political law.
Yeah,
you have to, and that's the only way. Our weapon is our mouths. Our weapon is how do we engage the people. Although one thing that has not changed, I am still a positive politician.
Yeah.
Now, I avoid at all costs for hasnit, tontunit, wax lu bon si nit. Man to date musuma wax lu bon si Barrow. His personality, his character, I don't never say any Barrow is corrupt as a person. I don't have any evidence towards that. All I say is government.
Yeah.
You understand? I never pinpoint people and say anything bad about them. Lolu mom duma ko musa change. Because it's the core of who I am. Okay? But in terms of politicking, advocacy, digger fight, defense mo bopa bobu mom have changed.
No, tay mom da nga changé torop.
So your direct question, you hear any bombshell? If there was any bombshell about me, do commission bi moko gene?
Do be it?
No. Gene na bu yaga.
Okay. Okay. Now, my question, and I don't know even if this is for you, FPAC bi.
Right.
Gis na ay ñaata billion central government.
Right.
KMC less than 10 million.
Right.
But how did it become the biggest story of the country? Talib mo gëna corrupt. Talib nga ñu ne faale Talib a corrupt. Why? How did it? Why? And I was telling somebody, one of your surrogates the other day, I think MC, man ko yeen mom. Dafa melni tay mo yeen State House ak len dey compare. Why has it been that Talib is just Talib? Lu tax lolu?
I said it,
especially against government.
I said it at the last interview, but it's so crazy every day, Talib. So basically, now let me go back to the FPAC report. In the same document, and I think now it's being in the news, $1.6 billion.
Yeah, we wrote
basically
it.
Not accounted for.
Yeah.
Through the Accountant General's office. FPAC is
checks that were cash.
Cash that were checked, 68 million.
Yeah.
These are checks that were cancelled, but are still cashed.
Wow.
So that is not interesting at all. What is interesting is
7.6
KMC 7.6. And Ngadega NPP supporter or government people are saying, oh, look at KMC, so dirty, 7 million. Nyom billions and billions. Russian gas scandal. Ken Hamut. When this thing was on, what's the claim? The other petroleum company, Gum Petroleum, $40-something million. And the endless scandals, COVID money, tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars. And they have the audacity and say, oh, KMC has missing vouchers. Missing vouchers. And Fatou, even if these vouchers were missing, it says missing. Munna am vouchers then real. Munna am na kuko filed properly. Missing. It doesn't say any cash stolen. It says missing vouchers. It's an accounting issue. It's not a fraud issue.
It's an accounting issue.
Audit dafa ñëw pour make sure you're following processes, procedures. There's checks and balances and accountability. So they're saying after the end of our audit, we could not account for 7.6 million of vouchers. We want to know where these vouchers. But in the list, you get a list of 15 payments, and each payment had a description.
Yeah.
So I think that's many people don't know. Then you get a list of 15 payments. 15 payments you in your account to 7.6 million. But every payment had a description.
Okay.
So Benabi, I think, I don't know, 200,000 paid for sanitation, something like that. So every payment already had a description, meaning they know what the payment was for.
But it's the voucher that is
But
missing.
what they don't have is the backup document.
Okay.
So backup document is what is missing.
Okay.
And this is so exciting.
Yeah.
And then Talib Mom.
Talib la di.
When they buy Rebila, we take it in good
Talib
faith.
la. Talib la. So we want to know. I think because also, if people hold you to a certain standard,
Right.
and you have recently become more of a very, like an activist on, then they champion issues of corruption,
Right.
and they champion accountability in central government.
Right.
So people will come back to you and say, hey,
What about you?
What
Yeah,
about you? If you're telling us, Baro Nenko Hole Buti, you're not. I think that's why it's raising a lot of
I
questions.
never say Baro.
But we always compare you to Baro, so I think Lolo Mota.
Well, you know,
I
I never say Baro. So man,
It's the government.
I say government.
Yeah.
You know, so the way people want to personalize politics, man, I never say a minister name or Baro. Man, the worst attack I have made, even on a minister, was Demba Sabali was, you better focus on your agriculture.
Yes.
The farmers are struggling. That's the worst thing I've ever said in terms of an individual. When government is failing, I say government is failing. And that's the type of politician I've evolved into. Where Buma start, I just wanted to focus on my service delivery. I was unbothered about what was happening in my country. One day now with my growth, with my status in society, Axma Plus, I owe it to the people to also advocate for good governance. Dama try ma defko. We are not perfect. We don't say people should not talk about us or ask us to be transparent or accountable or criticize us. But ñun tam fuñ gis fu ñoo criticize, dañoo criticize pour defar.
Yeah.
Wante nekkul pour xaste or pour wàññi nit or pour kajaf nit. No, that's not the goal.
How do you take criticism? So former advisor, Dr. Sisemune, KMC is the dirtiest city in Africa.
It's unfortunate, and I always say one thing, politicians should be very careful what they say about other politicians. Doctor's saying KMC is the dirtiest municipality. That's his opinion. I mean, we don't mind. I mean, lolu subjective. I'm the new one. Oh, KMC mo gëna set. I mean, it's subjective.
ñoom sax dañ la dee comment ñu ne flower ci mayor.
Wow, flower
city bi yëpp mayor flower guy doon la ñu dee tooñee.
So you is immature political comments. But I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of the territory. Where I had an issue was when he goes on media and says mayor is lying.
Yeah.
You know, which I thought was disrespectful and below his office. You know, tontu umoko, and you know, man, that's not my style. But I think it was below his office. It was something that disrespected the office of the mayor, and it was below him. And end of the day, I always say politicians should be careful because then jeta say dej, then jeta say ngente. You know, I saw him at Abdullah Jammeh's funeral, and he said, "Hey, boy, nakam ni." You know, it's like, okay, you were saying these things about me. You know, why now acting friendly? But you know, all I'm saying is, we all have a responsibility. The minister, the mayor, the president, especially president, to sanitize the politics in this country. It's not like a Nigeria where you can insult somebody from Kano State and then Momungla Sorifali, Dolen Musa Tase, 150 million people. We always meet up. And Doctor is my cousin.
Yeah.
Third, second, fourth cousin, I don't know. Turu Jawarakunda. You know, so we have to be careful. It's not an ordinary country because it's small.
It's small.
Wow. And it's not an ordinary country because it's extremely poor.
Yeah.
Extremely poor. So ñi ngi fogne ñun ñi ngi liggéey pour génné len ci poverty. Ñun ñu ngi ci media di wax nonsense and foolish things, you know. So I think we should do better.
We should do better. Now let's come to politics. I
thought
I have another just 30 minutes to go. 1 hour like the phone. They were politics so like the time. They were politics so like the time. Guy mass signal you know time John because of politics.
Over time.
For your politics day. For your so how many weekend be they gonna say guy they get my marathon why UDP funny. Because obviously yéen a ngi amoon man maa ngi woon si beach side bi du man sax buuba laa wax naa ñëpp ne buuba laa accuse si story boobu du man suma tur la fa def but of course si weekend bi I think it was Sunday you guys had an executive meeting and we got information that it was the flag bearer issue, the biggest issue was discussed there, looking at the timeline when to open applications, and we wrote that. Obviously we can confirm that that conversation happened. We can also confirm that that day was suggested. The time you knew information, it was suggested. It was later that they said, oh, the party leader is traveling and some other executives are traveling, so let's put it on hold. But that was discussed and that was the timeline from the 15th to the 31st. So they can ask you story, but I call your administrative secretary, ñun buñ liggéey NPP conversations da ngeen ko dee celebrate buñ liggéey seen boss da ngeen noppi rek. So this is what we do. This is we get informations. But what is the state of that? Is the applications open or are you guys holding on?
I saw the information on Kerr Fatou. I was not on that. I was not in that meeting. So I had personal issues to handle.
Yeah.
So meeting me never. So I don't know what conversations or even what brought up that conversation or even if it happened. Comme man Kerr Fatou laa ko gis, I asked, they said no, amut.
ñu ne leen amut.
ñu ne that conversation.
Conversation bi kay am na.
Well, I'm saying.
man kay mun naa ko 100% ne am na.
man ñu ma laaj so ñu ne.
mun naa la wax kan moo ko suggest, kan moo ko table, kan moo indi date si mun naa la ko wax yëpp.
Basically, I think I don't doubt you. I will never doubt you. I know your credibility.
100%.
One thing
especially
I know
when
is
it comes to UDP sources.
Don't doubt me on that. If it was discussed, then it was an unofficial discussion. Wow.
No, it was not unofficial. It was there. Well, it came on the state of the party. The agenda of state of the party. That's where it came under.
So basically, look, with all seriousness.
But on serious note, though,
party bit of processes.
Yeah.
And there's a way in which we communicate our intentions and our plans.
Yeah.
And definitely that through Kerr Fatou does not do it, at least unofficially like that, like a rumor or like we heard. So I think the process, if it ever happened, is being denied by those in the meeting.
They did not deny to me.
Now
they told me that I missed the only thing, the confirmation of the date.
Your sources?
No. After the meeting, right. So I reached out to 3 different people. They were not happy that we put this thing out, right. But they confirmed that the conversation happened, but they did not have a confirmation on the date.
Okay, so what I would say then is there's no official decision
communication
on the matter.
Wow. Okay.
So I think the discussion happened and maybe that's how you heard about it.
Yeah.
But I was not there.
Yeah.
So basically, I think party be amna process, and at the right time, in the right manner, they will announce their process.
They will announce the process. Now let's look at the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So recently, Sen Party B has been grumbling with a lot of issues, and a lot of the allegations is surrounding Talib Bensouda. Right. 2 elected officials, your colleagues, Rohi Malik Law of Banjul, had an interview on iAfrica TV, and she said, ne parti bi amul ben campi Talib ak campi lawyer Dabo mo am, meaning ne yow kese ya buga challenge Dabo, yow kese ya nekk di create parti si biir parti bi. What do you say to that accusation? That's a serious accusation.
Yeah, well, so there was a lot said on the radio by my colleagues, unfortunately, but we've met. We've had a very honest discussion amongst ourselves. It's ended amicably, and we've all decided let's focus on the most important thing, which is the real elephant in the room, is how do we win 2026 elections, and ensuring that our supporters are all focused on this mission. So I can say now, the issue is it's a non-issue. Politics, mom, lii foog mu
lan mooy
bokk
non issue foog ñu dégg war nañoo xam
lii foog mu bokk
ne yow yaa
I
nekk di
mean-
créer parti si biir parti bi
Well,
dañ
you
bëgg a
know, I mean,
dégg
everybody has their opinions. Duma dugga too much in the detail because waxi kër la biir kër. Wow, it was something that should have never discussed in public. Wante xew na. I'm not going to sit here and say something bad about Rohi or Yankuba or call them anything. Lu ma wax rek mooy ne lu ma leen wax seen kanam wax naa leen ko ñoom tam luñ ma wax nañ ma ko and we sat suñ kilifa bi party leader was there and then ñu ne léegi jeex na let's focus on the most important thing. How do we take out this government and change Gambia for the better?
léegi am nga entry visa West Coast region because ñu ne dang dee enter without visa dang dee enter without permission and yaa ngi def sa
Like I
politics
said,
foofu
Yankuba is my colleague. We'll work together. We've discussed a lot. One day I will leave it to that.
yaa ngi politically correct fii xoolal
du waxi am nga man su fekkee ne man tey so waxal yëfi NPP nga seet du ma saware
gis nga loolu why are you trying to be so politically correct
biir kër la I mean dafa mel ni tey suma problème yi kër yi suma famille du ma ko nettali si mbedda bi so similarly la so ñun biir kër la benn parti la colleagues lañ one family la there's going to be issues there's going to be misunderstanding loolu du ñàkka réeroo moom foog mu am wante ñaaka waxtaan moo amoon léegi waxtaan bi am na léegi mbir bi put nañ ko to rest léegi 2026 mooy mbir bi
are you worse than Barrow
non loolu woo du woo ko tontu
dañ bugg a xam di
am naa yaay xam naa fu ma bugg a yóbbu
dañ bugg a xam
am naa fu ma bugg a
dañ
yóbbu
bugg a xam are you worse than Barrow
how ma in what light
in governance
No, I'm not
in
worse
his
than Barrow in
political
governance.
ni nga dee demee di jox nit ñi sukkur si ron ak yooyu noonu
I'm not
pour
worse than
supporters
Barrow.
are you worse than Barrow
The only area fu nga xam ne like I said is like I said my brother Yanks definitely like I said a lot of things were said should not have been said but anyway discuss nañ like I said and now we've put it to rest
and that's it foofu nga tollu daal si affaire
toolu si affaire
tey moom fu ma fi jógee Alaaji Konte moo ma njëkk a kool mu naa ne yaa ñinen kaa ñu mbee la kana ñinen kaa kana
no war nga ko
nga laajte
I mean,
questions yi
war nga ko laajte it was said in public it was unfortunate I will always say that it's unfortunate wante bi waxi biir kër la waaw su ma sañoon wax yooyu yëpp would have happened behind closed doors su ñu fight sax ñu fight wante ñu génna ñu focus on lan moo tax ñu dugg politics I mean madam they always say the only reason I'm in politics is to change this country for the better because what is better for my personality and my welfare is to stay in my private business and do my private things, you know. But the reason I'm in the public, dika bi musuma kontaan, musuma feel like, oh, I'm so happy, you know, with my country. I'm so proud of the way my country is going. And that's why I put my hat in the ring. And anything that diverts me from that or deviates me from that, you know, I'm not interested.
So, so a lot of people, supporters, then they were and I think that is what brings a lot of attention and attacks on you.
Yeah.
Your supporters, especially on social media, then they were Talib is the only winnable candidate for UDP. And that is what is bringing a lot of attention. Do you encourage these kind of arguments on social media, or do you what do you say to these kind of arguments when you see that?
Look, I think it's a democracy. I think we always have to remember that.
Yeah.
And Party Bisa, we always have to remember that. I mean, we are called the United Democratic Party for a reason. We must entertain discourse. We must entertain opinions. We must also regulate them. Not to censure people, but to tell them, look, there's a way and time and manner to express yourself. And right now we have a big task of how to remove an incumbent government that is determined to entrench themselves. The time for party flag bearership is not yet. I mean, wait till that time or you're going to basically undermine the party unity. You know, primaries are never simple. Primary, do ward councillor, do constituency MP, do regional mayor, is always tense. And Mahdi Sise termed it the best. Then Collage, I think Gambia Talents or some TV asked him at the parliament, and he said, look, all these camps, you know, if they exist, they should exist. Because you know them primary elections at parliamentary level or regional level, ku nekk daf dee indi nit ñi guy campaign ko, and that is considered a camp. Once they campaign for him, mu win ñeneen yi yeneen camp yëpp dañoo ñëw join ñëwaat together party bi fight for the victory of the party. You understand? If that is what people are saying is a camp, right? But all I'm saying is there's a way, time, and manner. And doo ko def tam si disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say ne Fatou dafa rafet without saying kii naka Jina ba dafa ñaaw.
Yeah.
You know, say I like Fatou and nga em foofu.
Yeah.
You know, so I think disrespect bitam, people don't like it. I've done my part. Man, I'm not a loud politician. I call people underground. I solicit people's numbers. Stop it. Buy loy def. Sometimes they even come to the public and say, yeah, mayor wax na pour ma buy wante momut ma do dey fay suma bills.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen all of those things, you know. So all I'm saying, we should also be able to segregate supporters and leaders. Supporter moom pour nga control ko waaw da nga jàpp si yàlla rek. Wante leader yow da nga am responsibility to try to always bring unity, try to bring people together and say things that will inspire and make people positive.
For those who want to see President Talib Bensouda, are you going to put your application for the flag bearership of UDP?
Right, so if the party, through the right channels, the right processes, the norms, you communicate, you know, officially that applications are open. At that point in time, I'll consult my family, my advisors, and then I'll make the decision.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So mun nañoo xaar ne di nga dugal mun naa nekk de
dafa des my consultations.
kan lañ war a kan ngaa consult ñu jéem a lijjanti ñu taataan si ñoo ñu xool
man sax xawma lu ñoo wax su time bi jotee, so I guess it depends on the circumstances and dynamics at the time.
kon ñu laaj vote si fii da ngeen bëgg a Talib mu apply ndax ñuy seetaan ñu laaj leen si comments yi ñu wax ñu.
Well, you know, we'll know when the time comes.
You'll know when
So
the time.
lu important right now, you know, how do we, I mean, holal comments you borrow, you know, recently.
And this is the
look
thing,
at what's
how
happening
will
with
you
immigration.
guys win against Barrow if you are like this? Because to be honest, I mean, gis nañ numbers yi di génn. Barrow ba tey, you know, moom mooy lead si numbers.
Yeah, so he's still a formidable challenger. He's an incumbent.
Yeah.
He knows politics. I don't think Barrow should be underrated in any shape, way, or form.
Gis nga Barrow nim dee waxee man Barrow lim wax barki dee nelaw ma de.
I mean, he's a politician. He talks.
Mun naa
Barrow
de
moo
ku keral.
toog mu wax ne man duma win ku mun sa morom duma xoolal suma ammunition. I beat them mercilessly.
Yes.
So the issue is politician da nga baaku da nga door sa dina da nga tiital sa morom da nga prepare sa ammunition ku nekk da nga prepare. So with a little bit of opportunity, luck, and ndimbal yàlla moo dee determine. And kenn xamut luy xew si future bi.
Do you think the UDP will
Fatou yow sax mun ngaa nekk the next president.
man
of the
sax man
Gambia.
de dama bëgg a apply de su dee waaye xam nga man nekkuma member nekkuma carré member mun naa apply.
set of
Anybody can apply.
circumstances can be put you in the presidency.
waaw wax nga dëgg de.
So ñuñ dee foog ne ñii la ñii la you never know ndogal yàlla la. So gomal yàlla do the right thing, that's all I say.
But do you think the UDP will be fully united ahead of the 2026?
We will push for it. I'm the organizing secretary, that's my job, I'll push for it. How ma luy xew si future bi, but like I said, that good meeting with my colleagues, that meeting was good. It's a good beginning, it's a good platform. Léegi nañ ubbi suñu xol yi nangu ñu xam ne.
dégg naa meeting bi saf na de.
Waaw anyway am naa dugguñ.
dégg naa waxante ngeen dégg foofu de.
Waxante nañ dégg moom.
waxante
nañ dégg moom.
You think it was fruitful, it was worth it to have that conversation?
It was necessary. It was even necessary before ñu dem media.
Yeah.
But lu xew na léegi we just forge forward.
Well, if any other person was selected, would Talib support them?
Of course, yeah.
Finally, Barrow NPP split bi ak gis nga NDP jógee naka nga xoolee political.
La politique xamuloo luy ñëw xew in the near future. Anything can happen, Fatou. Anything, absolutely. And the next president yàlla bind na ko si jéem ba pare. It could be somebody you never imagine.
Yeah.
It could be Barrow noonu la ñëwee. President Jawara noonu la ñëwee. Yaya Jammeh noonu la ñëwee, even by the gun.
Yeah, it was surprising.
President Jamai Faye noonu la ñëwee.
Yeah, very surprising.
The way you think it never goes down like that, you know. So ñun nañ, like I said, try to keep the party integrity together, unite our people, inspire them, push for the right things always, follow our conscience, you know. Important is a gëm yàlla def ko nag si yar ak teggin, that's it. Man loolu laa gëm. Soo amee nga am si barke, soo ñàkkee nga ñàkk si barke.
Waaw waxtaan bi fu mu ne nii amatuma dara li ma si teg lan nga wax ñi laa seetaan, especially the many Talib supporters on Facebook, especially suma anti Kasa kooku moom mooy
Kasa Cissé Manding mooy
Kasa Cissé moom
I love her. She's amazing.
She's crazy. She's my aunt though.
She's so passionate. Man, I've always seen her.
She's very
as an
passionate.
auntie and stuff.
Yeah.
One day lately, like, the sniffing so much.
And I want to come there. And that's one thing I've said to somebody. You are one of the least popular among all of these people when it comes to support the base bi.
Right.
Why léegi am social media man daf ma jaaxal de yow dafa mel ni daal you know yow ñu la gënoon a bañ sa léegi ñooñu laa gën a gis ñu gën a nekk sa fans, and I'm like, you know, and you had done it so well to be able to attract a lot of people ñoo xam ne were really very critical of you.
You know, I'm grateful. Man, I always say I'm already a winner in politics. I'm a two-term mayor at the age of 38. Sorry, 38.
Yeah.
I started at 29. You know, I had a great chance through UDP. I have notoriety in the country. People know me, Kartong to Koina. You know, I've had great successes, ups and downs, great experience. I've been enriched, you know, politically. You know, my values. You know, I feel so great. You know, with how far I've come. Mansuma Emon Fisa, you know, I've already left a legacy. Mayor of KMC. You know. So
what has been the biggest challenges of this whole run? Because one thing I said, you have dragged your family through so much.
Yeah, I mean, so
because
much.
So much. Man, personally, I've said this, you know, Ahmed Bensouda, soko dégon, the finest lawyer, jigéen yëpp di seet si mom, you know, I have this admiration for her and all this stuff. But because of political ambition, tey, da nga gis nit ñi di ko drag so loo xam ne ñëpp xam nañ ne it's politics.
Well, people don't even know my political ambition.
No, I mean, da nga bëgg a nekk président, man maa ko fee wax, ñëpp xam nañ ko. Yéen ñëpp, xam nga li ma dee wax. And I said this on one time on my show.
Right.
nañ bàyyi di wax ne Talib rek a bugg a nekk président loolu du nekk loolu Talib bugg naa nekk président Yankuba Dabo bugg naa nekk président Rohey Malick Lowe bugg naa nekk président Landing Sané moom doo ko dee gis si yooyu waaye yéen ñëpp da ngeen bugg a nekk président loolu foog ñu wax ko du yow rek nag ñoom ñëpp bugg na ñoo nekk président léegi ku nekk na ni ngaa tojee sa ginaar xaw ma naka lañ ko dee si olof is the ban route ngeen dee jël but you guys all have ambition and it is rightfully so. You have served as mayors or chairmen and you have done some great work.
What we want as UDP is
So-
like ANC. ñu am president factory gars
Waaw,
yi ñëw rek di
kii
dem,
jógee
gars yi
foofu,
ñëw rek
kii
di
ne,
dem,
kii dem.
waaw, and they do move dëkk bi nag.
waaw waaye nag
Loolu moo am
pour mu leer yéen ñëpp da ngeen bëgg a nekk président de loolu moom
yaa waa
man de wax naa ko ñoom ñëpp ga agree nañ si man sax dañoo nëbbu rek waaye ku nekk dafa bëgg man sax bi ma toog fii even though bokkuma
sax bëgg
parti
nga.
at some point bëgg naa nekk président nag su ma ko yàlla mayee so bu fi kenn di weddi ne man bëgguma lii you know
ñëpp
but
bëgg
yeah,
nañoo liggéey seen réew.
Yeah.
So su ko am plateforme bu gën a rëy pour liggéey sa réew.
why not?
Why not?
Why not? But like I said, do you have regrets sometimes that you got into politics and you have done, you know, sometimes you drag the family through some of the most difficult moments, you know, that they didn't have to be part of?
Well, I think there are times you think and say, wow, I didn't know it's going to, you know, affect so many people around me, you know, because it does have a toll. First, on your time you personally want to spend with your immediate family. That's the biggest sacrifice. Two, of course, your actions can affect third parties or family members. Man, I'm fortunate, I have a great family, 3 brothers, you know, they are all intelligent, all thriving in their industries, all doing very well. And in fact, I was the less known out of all 3.
Yeah.
They are well known in the sectors they are. You know, I've had a mother, the most amazing, wonderful woman, who really started from poverty and built a wonderful life for herself and, you know, made sure all of us were okay and had the right start. So we, of course, I always sometimes feel, okay, maybe, you know, of course, a lot of their businesses would have been a lot bigger if they were not in opposition or I was not in opposition. But I look at them and they're the ones saying, you know, put the kabila nañ dem. You know, it's for the country. You know, we are fortunate. Yàlla may nañu. We've had what we can have. We have to now build our country, make it good for everybody else. You know, and that keeps me motivated. You know, and if they were the ones saying, you know, I'm not getting contracts or maa ngi suffer or small business mi ngi yaaxu Talib Baye politique nii nu mu yàgga daf ma affect. You know, but sometimes I'm the one who's down and they're like, hey, well, you know, that's fine. You know, so Santa Yalla.
Santa Yalla. Oh, that's encouraging. That's nice. Thank you so much, Mayor. Ñu gërëm la lan nga bëgg sa supporters yi ak Gambian si ñi nga xam ne
Well,
ñu ngi la
my
seetaan.
message has never really changed. Man, all the time, what I say is, nañ nekk benn, the most unfortunate thing about Gambian politics, bu ma gis mooy the comments on tribe, the discourse that is creating so much division in terms of, how we conduct our politics, the saga nit ñi, the oye people names, the wàññi nit ñi. I mean, President Barrow is our biggest opponent, but I will never disrespect him. What's the point of that? Disrespecting him is disrespecting the Gambia, But us leaders have a responsibility to drive the discussion, the challenges, but in the right manner, with the right discipline, So, nañ try ñu defar suñu dëkk loolu moo am solo.
You tried the first thing. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you so much.
And to you all watching, good night to you all. See you again next week.
We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997, and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital, while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now, we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been.